Avalon, and this is Nurse in the Garden channel. Today I am coming to do a garden tour. So I actually missed week 4, so this will be week 4 and 5. Life pretty much got in the way and I couldn't come out here. So I have a bit of a jungle here to my right. My tomatoes are doing really great, but they need some staking and just some care. And then a lot of things need fertilizing, like my corn looks a bit yellow. But I'm finally happy to have a day off so that I can come out here and spend some time in the garden. It's pretty early in the morning, not as early as I would like it to be. I think today is going to be a hot one because usually around this time, at least between 6:30 and 7, it's a little bit cooler in the morning, and it's already after 7 o'clock and it's hot. I'm hot. So I have some things I actually want to plant that I brought out. Have some seeds, and yeah, so it will be somewhat of a tour, somewhat of a let's get this garden together. I hope you stick along for the whole ride. So so one of the first things I want to try to get done today is to fertilize my corn. I want to add some compost that I have left over, some garden tone, and I'm going to fertilize it as well. I really want to put some nutrients back into the plant because as you can see, compared to everything else, it's a bit yellow. Even the corn that I have right here, these two, if I'm pointing correctly, they're a lot more green than this. I didn't really do anything special to that bed per se, but for some reason this one, I guess because that's in ground and this one's in a container, it just needs more work. So I'm gonna go ahead and do that. I do have mulch at the bottom, and I think I'm gonna cut off some of these dead leaves as well, just to help the plant look a lot more fresh and put together. I'm gonna clean them off with some alcohol, because I clean everything off with alcohol in between cutting when I'm in the garden. So I'm just gonna cut all these things off here. So right now I'm just going to add the garden tone. All around. And then I'm going to add the compost. And then water that in with the fertilizer. And I use the fish fertilizer. I really do like it. The last time I used the fish fertilizer in here, the plant really did pick back up. So I'm here for it. Once I water it in, then I'm going to put the mulch back on top to help keeping the moisture a bit. I love these containers that I got. They have like this self-watering pit right here, and you actually could see the roots of the corn at the bottom. So I like to bottom water. Sometimes I top water, but usually I bottom water my plants. So fish fertilizer, so that it can really drink it up. Now I'm gonna add my mulch right back on top. Beautiful. Looks a lot better. and there's not too many old leaves. There's some at the end here, but looks pretty good. As you can see, I have some tassels. No corn, but I have a ton of tassels. Should I be keeping them like in a Ziploc bag or something? I see some people doing that with like their pollen. Should I keep it in a Ziploc bag so that I can save it for when the corn comes? What do you guys think? Let me know. All right, so normally in my tour videos, I am starting in this corner. And this is my cilantro that bolted. I keep forgetting the name of this plant that I try to grow. Oh, ranunculus. And that was a total fail. And I am actually going to try to reseed some more cilantro. Actually, I see some cilantro that has reseeded itself at the bottom. I'm not sure when that came up, but I'm contemplating cutting off the flowers just so the plant doesn't have to fight for energy. But I am just going to reseed right now, try to get as many harvests as I can. I'm just going to sow pretty haphazardly, to be honest with you, because I mean, with how the heat is and stuff, I'm sure some is going to come up, some it's going to bolt, and I'm just going to put as many as I can because I want to have some cilantro. I actually experimented with canning this past weekend. I went to a farm. I went to a strawberry farm, and my son and I, we picked a ton of strawberries, and I canned strawberries. Everything looks good so far. I cleaned everything, as you know, to disinfect everything. I did that, and so long story short, with me saying all that, I want to try to can some salsa and things like that, so I need cilantro. Okay, so right here is my onion bed, and that is a big moth. It's like right there. Anyway, my strawberry. I actually need to fertilize this, give it a boost. So I'm putting some fish fertilizer here. My onions otherwise look really great. I'm thinking of eventually cutting some of the tops and allowing the bulb to bulb up a little bit more, as well as making some onion top pesto. I hear that's really great. I also have some onion chives in here, so it'll be nice to see that grow up nicely as the summer progresses. If you watched my last video, you know I said I was going to plant this particular plant in a pot over there in the other part of like the patio. Hasn't happened yet. Life is busy, and I have grand plans sometimes, and things get complicated, so therefore this is still in here. I'm still going to plant it out because it still has hope. I'm just not sure what container just yet, because I want to try to experiment planting one pepper plant in a container, one more pepper plant into a container, and it's the same container I wanted to plant this strawberry in. So we will figure this out. I will figure this out. But yeah, let me take you over to the other side. Alrighty, so the sun is coming out, so I'm trying to hustle to get back over to the raised bed area. But this area is looking really great. My parsley is growing. It's not like the greatest. I have a nasturtium plant in here. Bugs are coming at me. I don't know if you can see one of the flowers, beautiful orange flower. My marigolds are taking off. My oregano is looking great. I'm going to take you guys a little bit closer in a minute so you could see my thyme. I actually gave it a straight haircut and dried some, so I have been doing a little bit of harvesting here in the garden. I've just been kind of doing it as I can because time. My lavender smells amazing, looks great. No flowers. I don't know if I'll get flowers. I've never grown lavender. I've actually grown these from seed, so that's really exciting. Green onions are looking good. My other onions are looking great. This marigold is humongous, like huge. But let me take you a little closer so you could see the thyme. So if you remember from the last video, this was pretty tall, pretty full. So I gave it a great haircut, and it's already growing back. So I think I will get a few harvests of that through the summer. as I continue to cut it down and allowing it to grow back. Thyme smells so good, and we already used it in our cooking, so it's already coming into use, which is really exciting. All right, so my strawberry plant looks pretty good. I think I'm going to fertilize this one as well. I have some strawberries coming up. I've been eating like strawberries every morning before I go to work, so that's been pretty fun. Chamomile is coming up ever slowly, but they look so beautiful. I could get this to focus, but they look so great. So excited to have some chamomile to make some tea. My mint, not really doing much, but I am going to harvest some of these to see if it will grow back nicely. My Thai basil, I'm going to harvest some of these as well so that I can get these to produce a little bit more. And guys, looky, we have fruit. We have green peppers. And you want to see something really funny? That says pimento. So somehow I have managed to put the wrong label on a lot of my peppers. In efforts to try to label everything perfectly, I somehow mislabeled a lot of my peppers. I don't think I did the same with my tomatoes, but the peppers somehow I have gone extremely wrong. So as I take you guys over to the raised bed, I will show you guys what is mislabeled and what is actually growing. My marigolds are looking great. This riri pepper is bulbing up, and I think they're supposed to turn red. So right now they're green, and I'm sure they'll be turning red pretty soon. And we have some more green pepper over here that's growing, looking really great. Really nice. And then this plant that I was supposed to take out, haven't taken it out, but I'm going to take it out today and plant something in here. Most likely not my strawberries, but I'm going to plant the pepper that I'm going to experiment and see that if it actually gives me some sort of harvest this year. Okay, so I am going to remove, there's this very weird fly in front of me. I'm going to remove this plant right here, and I'm actually thinking of planting a Scotch bonnet plant. I got this one from Botanical Interest when they had their sale recently, and I really like Scotch bonnet peppers. I was trying to get a plant this year and I couldn't find, and I hesitated on actually buying the seeds for some reason. But this is a 75 to 100 days from transplanting, so if I direct seed it, I think I could get a harvest right before the summer ends. Wish me luck. So this is a red Scotch bonnet, and we'll see what happens. So let me pull this out. I'm going to amend the bed with some garden tone. I'm going to take out the mulch that's here, and then pull out the plant. After I plant the seed, I am going to put some fish fertilizer in there as well, just to help start off everything really well. And I'm sure I'm going to see a seed pop up pretty soon. Oh, actually, nope, that's not going to work. I think this plant actually took over the soil. Well, that's a fail. I don't know if I have enough soil in the bag that I have, so I'm going to go grab it and see what fills up in here. Well, this is all the soil that I have. I'm going to actually just fill up the container with what I have for now, and I think I will just go buy a bag of soil this weekend actually, and just to have on hand, because yeah, so it barely filled up the container, which is fine. I will just go and buy a bag of soil this weekend and go from there. Well, I waited too long. That's the problem. I waited way too long, but we're gonna head over to the raised beds. All right, so the first bed we're gonna tackle is this pepper bed, and as I told you, I have mislabeled some peppers. I am not sure how that even happened, to be perfectly honest with you. I'm not sure. So in this bed I also have cucumbers, squash, and a celery, okra, but I need to take a look at everything. Some of my peppers are actually doing some peppery things. They're growing peppers. A lot of flowers. It's really doing really well. I also bought trellises for my squash and my cucumber plants as well. Actually, just the squash. I lied, not the cucumber, because the cucumber, I don't know if you guys can see. Anyway, I'll take you guys closer for you to see what I'm talking about. I did plant some more, I think, zinnias in this bed just to bring some more color. But let me trellis some things, and then I am going to then show you guys a lot closer what's going on in this bed. Drink your water. So I ended up buying a 54-inch tomato cage, and you're gonna now watch me fight to put this in because it's going to be a little bit of a struggle, just trying not to damage the plants and all of that. I'm actually just gonna add some compost to the base of the plant as well, just to give some more nutrients as this plant is growing. And a flower just dropped off. Let's see if it was male or female. It was a male. I don't think I have any open flowers. No, I don't have any open female flowers. So maybe I should keep this plant, this stamen actually, of the male flower. I should keep it so that when a female flower opens up, I got pollen. So where should I keep it? I will keep it over to the side. So now everything is going upwards, and I can see under leaves. I can watch for pests, and then I have very good visualization of what's going on under here. I'm very, very pleased. So now I have this plant, which I'm gonna now trellis as well. This is a summer squash, so the yellow squash, and I'm gonna do the same thing I did here, there. All right, so time to try to train my cucumbers upwards. I'm gonna add some compost at the bottom since they are growing so nicely. And let's see, where else? Oh, here. All right, looking so good. Everything's looking good. So now to see, okay, let's get these things trained upwards this way so that it knows to go up, 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 and not down. That's that one. And now my cucumbers, you see it's already trying, you guys didn't see that, but it was already trying to go up. It was already trying to go around my, my gosh, what is this again? My celery plant. I'm like, that is not what we're gonna do, little sir. So I gotta train these tendrils to go upwards. Everything's looking good. Now I could really see things a little bit better than before, which is nice. Which is really, really nice. Let me take you guys in for a closer look. All right, so I trellised everything upwards. Now I can see at the bottom, which is perfect. And now my cucumbers are going upwards as well. Okay, in the middle over there, I believe those are cosmos, those flowers, and then I have a marigold over there that's opening up very nicely. My celery plant is doing really well too. See some weeds. Okay. Right back here, okra, that's doing a little bit of a struggle, but I think it was because it may have been a little bit shaded out by the squash plant, so now it should be getting more sun. And the weather here has just been a little bit wonky in New York. Okay, so this okra plant is growing up nicely too. There was something here, but I don't know what happened to it, so I just broke it off. It didn't make sense to keep it. Oh, let me show you guys the mushroom I was talking about. See that? They say mushrooms growing in your soil is actually a good thing because like good bacteria and all that stuff. I don't know the whole scientific thing, but I know they said it's good bacteria. So my nasturtium plants are looking good. I might actually cut off the old leaves just so that the new leaves have all the energy and the flowers have the energy, but this one is doing really well. I love the fact that all these flowers are popping up. It looks so beautiful. First time growing nasturtium. So, all right, let's take a look. All right, okay, so this is a green pepper. Up, and look at what I have it labeled as. Pimento. Oh my gosh, this is so funny. So I'm actually gonna have to go around and like make sure all my labels match. I'll have to do that after. But we have a fruit there and some more flowers. This is so funny, guys. Like, I think this is hilarious because the fact that I really tried to make sure everything was labeled and then I still labeled everything wrong. So here's some zinnias. This right here I think is my, are those jalapenos growing, guys? I think so. So I have a few growing here and I hope it's my jalapeno, and I guess I won't find out until after the fact because I will have to pick a mature one and see what actually the flavor is, if it's spicy or not. So that's gonna be fun as well. Sorry for the busy camera, but I am weeding as I'm going. Okay. Right here, I think this is another jalapeno plant. Oh my gosh, look, they're so cute. Like, I can't even deal. I believe this is a cayenne pepper. And I've been so busy, I honestly haven't even recognized all this fruit hanging around. This plant, if you guys remember, that there was something growing. It was right here. And the other morning I saw it, I was like, ooh, and I went to just gently touched it and it broke off. So, it's gone now. I'm not sure exactly what it was. It didn't look like anything I thought I was growing. So I don't know. But yeah, this is a cayenne, another cayenne. Actually, and what is this labeled as? Pimento. Oh my gosh, this is so funny. Another bell pepper growing, some more bell pepper growing. And it looks like I have these labeled correctly as well. My zinnias that are growing up right here. I'm not sure what's growing here, but I guess I will find out eventually. Looks like more bell peppers. I hope I'm growing what I think I'm supposed to be growing. Jalapeno here. Another jalapeno back there. This is supposed to be a jalapeno here, but I don't see anything. Oh, I think this is another cayenne growing. Let's look at this one. Yep, cayenne. I got the label correct. I don't know if you guys can see. Sorry. Okay. That's the pepper bed, guys. Looking really nice and healthy. I'm going to continue to weed, and then we're going to move on to the next bed. So right here, the strawberry plant, doing pretty good, setting some fruit. We'll see how well it does. I don't see it setting off any runners or anything like that, but it's looking pretty good. And of course the neighbors have started to do their mowing, so I really hope you guys can hear me, but such is living in New York. My celery plant looking great. We've been harvesting off of this here and there to cook. These carrots are actually probably ready to be pulled, so I will be pulling these pretty soon with my son. He actually wants to pull some fruit with me, so that'll be fun. So this is our corn we just did. As you can see, as I told you guys, there are tassels here. This corn probably not ready, and I know I was eager in the last video and I was like poking around, and I didn't like return the soil to the top, so I gotta cover everything up. I was actually thinking of adding some compost to this so that I can hill around the base, but everything looks pretty covered. This plant is supposed to be a serrano plant, and I think I saw something developing, but now I am wondering where in heavens I saw it. Huh. I really thought I did, but that's, oh, I see it. It's all the way down here. Hope it's a serrano plant. Looks different to the other one, so it might be. So that's that. All right, guys, so this bed right here is my jungle, I like to call it. It's such a jungle. These marigolds are humongous, like so big. The nasturtium is doing its thing in this bed as well, and it's actually doing what I wanted it to do, like come over to the front here. And then beautiful flower. Oh, like the camera's not even picking up its beauty. It's such a deep like orange red. It's absolutely gorgeous. My tomatoes look, sorry, my carrots look like it's doing really well. And as you guys see, I was telling you, my corn in this bed is doing so much better. And these were itty bitty, like these were actually transplanted corn, and they're looking really good. So I'm not sure what it is and why it's doing better, but it is. My marigold is actually taking over my zinnias back there, which is fine. This Cosmo is gonna come up. And my onions are looking okay. There's some, what you call it, weeds in here, so I'm gonna have to weed the bed. This particular onion fell over. I'm not sure why. I don't know if it means if it's ready or if it just fell over because it was blown over by like, what's it called? The wind or an animal, I'm not sure. But for some reason in this area, the onions are bigger than they are over here. I'm probably gonna come and do the same thing where I give everything a big haircut, and so that, you know, the onion could focus its energy in bulbing up, as they say. My chamomile looks really great too. Remembered, but I planted out this celery. This one's struggling because I think it's shaded out, but this one is picking up really nicely. The beans we planted the last time as well. And I want to do something with the stakes where I put like lines around the stake going up so that it has more area to like hang on to. I don't see any flowers yet, but these really picked up since I planted them out, and I love that. It's like a little forest over here. In there, in this deep area, I don't think I took you guys along for planting out what I thought I put in was a ton of lettuce, but I don't see anything coming up. I've been keeping everything watered as much as I can, but I think that it being a bit shaded, it didn't come out. What in the world was that? That was a weird looking bug. Parsley back in there, picked up really nicely too. So I'm just gonna have to try to figure out, maybe I'm gonna reseed in there. And then through this little alley here underneath, a ton of beets, which I'm actually gonna pull as well because I think it's time. I'll be interested to see what size. And I'll reseed again for like a fall harvest or something. Bye, baby. I love you too. Bye. All right, so I'm just gonna go ahead and weed, and then I'm gonna throw in some more cilantro, this lettuce romaine, and this mesclun lettuce as well. As I said, I'm not too sure why they haven't come up. I've been trying to water everything, and it was covered, so I was thinking that maybe it didn't get enough sunlight, but it should have sprouted by now, and it hasn't. going to do this trellis idea that I saw. I think I'm gonna wear gloves for this one. Okay. Pretty much the way it looks going up. I didn't do it too tight. I don't think it needs that much. Beans are pretty light, so this will be exciting to see how it grows up. But yeah, I'm pretty much done with this bed, and I'm gonna move on to the tomato bed. Okay, so here we are at my tomato bed. I have a lot of inspecting to do to make sure that there's nothing weird going on in here. I do have some fruit that is developing, and that's really exciting. So I actually need to do some staking, some pruning, and I'm gonna show you that, and then I will show you what the bed looks like. All right, so I have these bamboo stakes, and I'm going to trellis some of the plants that are just a bit wild over here, especially my tomatillos. I'm gonna go ahead and do that right now. I'm actually thinking of staking some of my, well, the corn over here as well, because it is coming into the pathway and it's causing a little bit of havoc. Okay, so I want to show you guys a before of what everything looks like. You really can't see through anything. A lot of fruit in there, but you'll never know because it's really, really busy. So I'm going to cut some of the extra foliage and some of the suckers on the other plants to see if I can make this look a little bit easier on the eye as well as the hand. Okay, I have done the tomato garden and it looks so much better. The only disappointing part that I saw, I think I noticed like droppings. But I do have a lot of birds in my garden, and I really honestly don't even want to look too hard for what I think is in my garden right now. Actually, I'm going to prune 1 or 2 more leaves, but yeah, so I'm just going to show you guys what I did. Isn't that just a breath of fresh air? I mean, come on. I have probably given like an open hand to the birds, but the birds I think are eating what I think is in my garden, although I don't see any. I pruned a lot. I even pruned my determinants, which is fine with me because I didn't prune the suckers. So I just pruned the extra foliage that is hanging around, and just kind of trying to clear up, get some airflow. I would tell you it took a week and a half for everything to look as crazy as it did a few minutes ago. Okay, so now I can see I have a lot of fruit. Still, I only have 1 tomatillo, perfectly fine with me, but I'm gonna bring you guys in for a closer look. So here, ton of flowers. Basil is taking off. These marigolds are absolutely gorgeous. I forgot which ones I planted here, but they're looking really great. My cilantro I planted here is looking great as well. This is my cucumber plant, which I'm going to put a trellis on in a few minutes. My okra plant there. My eggplant. I'm going to get a little closer. My eggplant looking good, filling up. Even this one's filling up really nicely. And then, oh my gosh, look at this flower. The zinnia. So great. Again, my marigolds are like taking off over here. Basil, and let me see if I can find you the one tomatillo. Let's see if I could find it. I don't know if you guys see it, but I do. There it is. One tomatillo. I think there's some other ones developing, so we have to wait and see. But I just see flies in my garden, like these kind of like flies, which is fine, because then I'm hopeful that that means that there are pollinating my plants. I'm not really seeing bees, but flies do the same job, so I'm happy about that. Here in the front, again, everything's looking really great. Got a tomato there, ton of flowers all around. Look at my plum tomatoes, super exciting. Some more flowers up there. This marigold, really beautiful, which is getting shaded. I actually still have a little bit more pruning to do. Look how beautiful that marigold is. Really beautiful. And I think the most beautiful bunch of tomatoes are right here. And this is what I was telling you. I see some droppings and I am like now on the alert, but I think the birds are doing a great job in making sure that what I think is here is disappearing before I get here. So I'm hopeful, but look, oh my gosh. These are my Cherokee purples. And there's some more developing over here as well. This one fell off, I'm not sure why, but it's fine. More marigolds over here. This is a beefsteak. That's sizing up a good deal. Cherry tomatoes in the back. More cherry tomatoes. As I was pruning, I did hit off one of the cherry tomatoes. But yeah, we're back around to the side and everything just looks really nice now. It's not so busy and crazy. I'm able to see what I need to see, and it's making my anxiety a lot lower right now because I didn't know what was going on in here. So I'm happy to see that it's not as crazy as I thought. But yeah, so as things are growing up, I'm gonna try to keep on track. I do have a vacation plan coming up very soon and I'm worried, but you know, my parents, they should be able to come and water. I'm just worried that things will go nuts. So most likely before I go on vacation, I will have to like come and prune everything, or just continue to prune as I'm doing now so that nothing looks too crazy when I come back. It's just a week vacation. And at this point, I'm like, okay, I'm not gonna go as far as to say I don't wanna go on the vacation, but I'm a bit nervous because I wanna look at everything, I wanna see everything, but things are looking really great. So my yard long beans and another one over here, they're picking up, so I can't wait to start trellising. I have a lot of weeding to do in this area.